People, today we're going to be doing our resin art video. Anyway, I got this silicone mold that I'm going to use to make jewelry, and I have my long neck lighter so I can pop any bubbles that rise to the top, and I got some pearl pigment and some red dye. I'm going to mix them together in the resin. It's going to have some pretty cool results. Anyway, let's get to the resin. Now, let's do this. Anyway, got the silicone mold, got this brush so I can scrape all the bubbles off, and now time to make some resin jewelry. Anyway, got these 2 bottles of resin and hardener. Now time to put them on. Now time to get the dust off of this measuring scale so I can measure the weight of the liquid. Now turn it on. Oh wait, no, I forgot my silicone cup. Be back in a moment. Now I'm back. I decided to use a plastic cup instead because they're just as good as a silicone one. Now I'm going to put it on there before I start measuring the resin, so I won't measure the weight of the cup too. Now, wait, is this the hardener? Oh, never mind. You have to add the resin first. Anyway, this resin you mix with a ratio of 1:1. And now I got now 25 grams of resin. Now going to take that out. Now add the hardener. Now I'm going to add 24 grams of hardener. Anyway, now we're good. Oh, sorry if the towel's in the way. Now I'm going to get some to mix it with. Just going to get this. I'll just use this wooden stick. First, gotta clean it because it's pretty dirty. And now I have to mix this for 5 minutes to make sure there are no lines in it. Ouch! Then after that I'm going to use a source of heat over it to pop the bubbles that are still inside of it. And then I'm going to pour them into the mold, and then I'm going to use the brush to brush the air bubbles off the corners and then I'm going to pop them with the source of heat, the long neck lighter. I'd use my torch, but I can only use it if the mold is not silicone, because silicone, it can handle a source of heat, but it can't handle a torch. It will ruin the mold, and then it will leak into the resin. Just going to leave the stick on the silicone mold, because since it's plastic, since it's rubberized, it cannot absorb resin, and resin is easy to peel off of it. Now, I missed some rust on there. Now, let's do this. First, a source of heat. Well, actually, since this isn't a silicone mold, and if I keep it far away from the edges, I'm going to use my torch over it. It pops bubbles way better. Now we are good. Now that we have that, now I can use this pigment. Now I can use this plastic brush to scoop out some of the pearl pigment and to drop it in there. And now, time for drops of the red dye. Now time to get the stick back and start to mix it. Anyway, it's turning pink. And it's sparkling. That means the pearl is mixing with it now. Okay, since it's turning pink, no, I'll stick with the pink temporarily. Then I'm going to move on to some red stuff. Now, since that's in there, I'm going to pour it into one of these. Now, time to it's too much resin. Anyway, I'm going to lean it over here and then slick some of it back into the cup. It was pretty bad. Now, time some more of the red stuff. Third drop. Okay, maybe a fourth one. More the merrier. Now, now time to pour some of the resin in there. Wait, no. And now it's pouring into the rest of the mold. Let's hit for a little bit. Now I'm going to go over it. I'm going to go over a little bit with the lighter. Okay. Now time to use the brush to, first I'm going to scrape some of the pigment off because I already have enough. Now I'm going to go through the other corners with the brush. Where'd I put that? Now, time to pick up that resin. Here. Now time for some more of the brush. Just need to scrape off some of the excess resin. And now, thanks, by the way, this technique is from the YouTube channel Steve McDonald's Arts and Crafts. Thanks for the tip, Steve. And now we're good. Wait, make sure I don't forget these corners. Well, not exactly corners, edges. Now, every time you have a silicone mold that one edge bends at a 90 degree angle, bubbles might get trapped in the between, so I have to go over it with the brush. Now I'm going to do this with the rest of them. And since I have a bit more resin and I don't want it to go to waste, I'm just going to make a cylinder with this mold. No. We're going to now time to keep scraping it. Now time to scrape the edges, and now to pour in this resin. And give it a bit more time. Anyway, I think that's okay now. But, nah, that's not enough. Since I overflowed some molds, I need to scrape some of it into there with this. Stick again. Now, oh dang it, I got some resin on the floor. Anyway, I'm going to scrape some more excess resin outside of the mold onto the silicone mat. Since this resin is synthetic, it will peel off, and since it does not stick to plastic, it will peel off. Now, time for some more of the brush. Some more of the resin dripped, and it dripped on my thumb. Ah! Now, since I went over it with the brush, now I'm going to go over this part with the brush. Now, every corner. Now scrape all that resin back into the mold and now that's done. I'm going to put some of the stuff away and go and dump this out. So it's time to wash some of this stuff out, wash the dust out, and then I'm going to, then once it's all dust is out, then I'm going to put this piece of resin over that one to prevent any dust from falling in, and now I'm going to cover this to prevent dust from falling in. Now I'm going to wait for 24 hours and see the results. Goodbye.